Look, I know it's ladies' night, but it's my ladies' night here. So I thought I would do the intro here for her, and many of you have met her personally. And I over the years through the network marketing industry, every time my wife speaks in front of whoever, it moves me. And she always says, I just don't know how well I speak. I said, you speak very well. You have a knack to speak in front of everybody. And she read me her outline, and I'll tell you what, I'm excited to hear how she's going to come across, because you guys are going to hear something special, and she's going to share from her heart. And she's going to, I won't say any more, but I just want to let you know, just open your minds. And I think, I know this recording is going to go back out to everybody. We're going to have all the men listen to it, because it moved me when she read me her outline. And I'm excited to introduce to you my lovely bride of 37 years, hon. Right? We've been together 39, 37,
Something like that.
30.
Sorry.
You're muted. You're muted.
No, I'm
Nope.
not.
Okay, good. Anyways, but I'm going to introduce her to you, and I'm going to go ahead and bug her. I'm going to listen, but I'm going to go off video. So, Patrice, take it away, hon.
Well, hello, ladies. I want to welcome you to the April 2021 Ladies' Night. It's my hope and my belief that each and every one of you can take at least one small little nugget with you from tonight's conversation. I feel so honored, and I'm in complete disagreement with Joe. I am not a speaker. I but I speak truth, and so I guess that's where that comes from. So my self-talk is going to be, I'm an awesome speaker, and I have great stuff for you tonight. So thank you so much for being here. Like I mentioned, what you need to know about me is that I'm a straight shooter, and I'm also a note reader. So pardon me for that. But the good news about me being a truth speaker is that you can trust what I'm going to say is the hardcore truth. So let me start off by sharing with you that this network marketing thing is a very high paying, but extremely tough business. It is not for the faint of heart. It will require from each and every one of you the following. It will require dedication, persistence, a burning desire for something much greater than what you already have, and tremendous faith. So I want to go over 4 of the 13 principles from Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich book. Hopefully you have all read that and you've already heard about all this stuff. It's really good stuff. The core of the Think and Grow Rich principles is that thoughts are things. I'm sure you've heard my husband say that, probably pounded into you, that our thoughts become our things. Moreover, thinking in a certain way, which in turn gives you the power to magnetize and attract anything you desire into your life. And by applying these principles, you can attract almost anything that you desire. Trust me on that one. So how do you train your mind so that you can start attracting the wealth and the abundance that you want? Let's go ahead and talk about these principles. And again, we're only going over 4 of them. Beginning with burning desire. So principle number 1 is desire. The first step in attracting what you want is to cultivate a desire for it. More specifically, a burning desire. You have to want it with a very strong conviction. Then you must create a vision of your life where you have that, whatever it is. When Joe and I first started prior to us starting our first successful network marketing company, Joe created a vision board. He put things on his computer monitor. And these were things that when I looked at them, I thought, okay, I know we've been practicing positive thinking and good self-talk, but how in the world are we going to have an S550 when we're trying to figure out if we're keeping the house or the motorhome? And then I think you guys have probably heard the story that we got into network marketing a few months later after he created that vision board, only to find out that you earn an S550 if you become a black diamond. And so the power of the vision in your mind it just magnetizes your burning desire. So if you have not created a vision board, don't just keep it in your head. There's power in visualizing it, in seeing it on a daily basis. He also, in addition to the S550, he also had taken a picture once we joined that company. He borrowed the ring, a black diamond ring, from someone in our upline, and he placed it on his finger, and he took a picture of that, and that became a big piece of his vision board. And it was 5 months that we achieved the rank of black diamond and got that S550. So there's so much power in figuring out, what are you convicted about? What do you really want? What is your burning desire? Not just your desire. We all want more money. We all want to take more trips. We all want to do more things and have more time freedom and have financial freedom. You have to get to the bottom of your burning desire. The desire has to be strong enough to sustain you even when things get rough, as we're going to hear about in a little while when I get to the principle of persistence. But by coupling longing, vision, and persistence, you can start to attain your objective. I'm sure you've heard Joe say that your why should make you cry. And this is what he's talking about. Think of all the greats that had to experience failure after failure before they achieved their goal. I was recently watching I forget the name that she calls it, but Oprah Winfrey was interviewing Tom Brady, and it was a couple of years ago, maybe 3. Well, as you know, Tom Brady, or you may not know, he was like 200th something in the NFL draft pick the year that he was drafted. I mean, he barely got drafted. That's how much no faith the whole NFL had in him. But Tom Brady had a burning desire. Today, he's considered the GOAT quarterback of the NFL. GOAT standing for the greatest of all time. You think he had a burning desire to become that? Of course he did. Of course he did. Do you think he wrote it down somewhere? I'm sure he did. I have no doubts. What about Thomas Edison? He failed a gazillion times when he was trying to bring electricity to be able to turn on even just something simple as the light bulb. When he was asked about the many times of failures that he had when he was trying to get the light bulb to light up, he famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That's so amazing. What a great attitude. What a great outlook. What a great reaction to the failed attempts. The difference between long-term success and failure is very simple. It's the reaction to it. How do you react to the failing moments? Joe wants me to repeat that again. He likes that one. The difference between long-term success and failure is very simple. It's the reaction to the failing moments. I've even heard it said that failure is the mother to success. I love that one. Anything that has mother in it, I love it. So let's move on to principle number 2, faith. Once you have your burning desire, you need to have faith in the process. Faith is what Napoleon Hill calls an external elixir, which gives life, power, and action to the impulse of thought. I'm not talking about any sort of religious thing. We hear that word a lot in religion, although many of you probably know that I am a believer and my faith is in and comes from God. I won't deny that. But I'm not talking about that. There may be some of you here tonight who don't have that same belief that I have. Faith or having faith does not exclude anyone. This faith that I'm talking about is inclusive of every human being. Exercising this creative faculty requires closing your mind completely to all that may dim your vision. I'm sure you've had things that come in and try to dim your vision. Faith is closing your mind to those things. Put simply, the more rock solid faith you have in this process, the more quickly and powerfully you can manifest what you want. For all thoughts that have been given feeling, for all thoughts that have been given feeling and mixed with faith, they begin immediately to translate themselves into their physical equivalent. So that goes back to that thoughts become things. When you add feeling and conviction, whew, unstoppable. Hill says that faith is the eternal elixir which gives life, power, and action to the impulse of thought. I already told you that. Faith is the starting point of all accumulation of riches. Faith is the only known antidote to failure. Let me repeat that. Faith is the only antidote to failure. I think that the Thomas Edisons and the Tom Bradys would very strongly agree with that. Nothing is impossible to the person who backs desire with enduring faith. Key word there. You got to back up your burning desire with enduring faith. What does enduring mean? It means long suffering, maybe, right? It has to endure all things. And faith is the basis of all miracles and all mysteries which cannot be analyzed by the rules of science. I am a living testament to this one. Let me read that one again. Faith is the basis of all miracles and all mysteries which cannot be analyzed by the rules of science. When I'm sure you've all heard stories of what our journey, mine and Joe's and Christian and our daughters have been over the last 5.5 years. Well, let me tell you, when you hear the words from a neurosurgeon that your child has maybe a few hours left to live, you can surrender to that prognosis, or you can kick in your faith, enduring faith, and hang on to it like Joe and I and his sisters did. There was nothing else. There was no other option for us. Him dying was not an option. Us having faith in his life, in sustaining his life, was the only option. And we did not, as a matter of fact, Christian's youngest sister had a little trouble with that. She thought that we needed to, she didn't understand how we could be so strong through hearing he's dying in a few hours, through hearing, okay, he lived, but he had 4 strokes and he is never going to walk or talk again. She fell on the floor and couldn't pick herself up and didn't understand how we were still standing. It was our faith, and we had learned how to grab onto that. There was no other option. When your hands are tied, when you're backed up against the wall, never surrender, never give up, never give in. You grab onto your faith and you grow forward. Principle number 3, self-suggestion or self-talk. In order for you to maximize your faith, you must monitor your self-talk. What is it that you tell yourself? Do you talk about what you're lacking? Do you talk about never reaching diamond? Do you think that you're not cut out for this? Do you think others are more talented than you and so they deserve to achieve the success that you want to have? This is all hogwash, ladies. Please trust me, that self-talk is all hogwash and it has to stop. You were born for greatness. Every one of you here were born for greatness. I believe that with my whole heart. Remember, I told you in the beginning, I tell the truth and you can trust it as hardcore truth. You were all born for greatness. Change your self-talk to, I am deserving. Good things happen to me. By consciously shaping our self-talk, we can control what transpires in our lives. How many of us can use a little more sense of control? Well, it's at our disposal. It's all waiting at our self-talk. One that Joe and I say often is, money comes easily and frequently. When I talked about that vision board back in, whenever it was, 2007. Sorry, I have hair stuck to my lip. In addition to the vision board, we wrote out 2 checks. They were blank checks before we wrote them out, and we wrote them out to the Licciardi family. December 31st, 2007 for $280,000. We wrote the second one, December 31st, 2012 for $5 million. Correct, honey? Yes. When we kept speaking, money comes easily and frequently, money comes easily and frequently, and we wrote out those checks. Have you guys heard the story? I don't want to be repetitive if Joe's told you the story, but at the end of 2007, we earned just under 280,000. I might be off on the numbers, so I apologize. But in 2012, before we even reached December 31st, 2012, we had received over $5 million in compensation from network marketing. I know times are different now. It may be a little slower. I want to be honest with you. It feels different to all of us, a little bit harder. That's okay. Hey, when I was in real estate, you know, I had great, crazy times where everything was just rolling in and I was making so much money. And then the market crashed and I had to work 3 times as hard for half of the income. And that was okay. It's okay if you have to work harder than we had to work in 2007. There's nothing wrong with that. It's still the same result. You put in the work. Who cares if you have to work a little harder than what we had to do back then? You put in the work and it will come. Ooh, feel the dreams, right? Build it and they will come. I love it. And then lastly, ladies, we're going to move on to principle number 8. Persistence. Remember, I mentioned it up with burning desire, that persistence comes into play. Just like a roller coaster, we all have ups and downs, do we not? Some days you feel like you're on top of the world, and then there's other days where it literally feels like the world is on top of you and you can't get up. Am I right? Well, sadly, the most common reaction to those days where the world is on top of you is to quit, to walk away. That is the most common event that occurs. It hurts too much, or it's way too much work, so it's easier to just give up and walk away. I suggest reading a great book, 3 Feet from Gold, because remember this well-known fact. Leaders are readers, and readers are leaders, right? I know you guys have heard that. Well, here's a thought. What if instead of giving up on your burning desire and your dreams and what you really want for your life, you make a choice to double down and persevere? That's a thought, and it's possible. Remember, successful people aren't those who never suffer setbacks. Look at the setback we've suffered. I'm sure all of you have a story. There's no doubt in my mind that each and every one of you have suffered a setback. And if you haven't, hang on. It's coming somewhere in your life. It will come. That is just the nature of this life. So let me go back to my thought. Remember, successful people aren't those who never suffer setbacks. They are people who know how to take a hit and still they don't give up. So you may ask, all right, Patrice, how do we go diamond? Here's how you go diamond. I'll tell you. You remove all the obstacles that are between you and what you want. And you remember that the universe is for you. I already said this. You were born for greatness. Every one of you was born for greatness. So how do you become diamond? You become you. You become, wish I could see the names on here. You become, hold on. You become Anne, you become Diane, you become Doreen, Jess, Joan, Joe, Karen, Karen Gilbert, Lizette, Rebecca, Wendy. You become you. You become you by removing anything that is not you, the self-doubt. All those things, the self-doubt and the different things and the negative self-talk that you've picked up along the way, you just remove it. It's that simple. You just get disciplined and remove it. I thank you, ladies, for your time. You're all awesome. You all born for greatness. And can I answer any questions? Is there, can I hear people?
Patrice, I just want to, this is Wendy. I just want to tell you, thank you so much for giving this a talk tonight. That it has really lifted my spirits and kind of re-energized my faith in what I need to do. So thank you so much.
You are so welcome. My pleasure.
I was going to say the same thing. I even just felt a lot of emotion right at the end there, like I was going to cry. So it was just super encouraging and also very happy to meet you.
Great to meet you, Diane. I've heard about you.
Thank you.
Yep, I've heard about all of you. Joe talks about all of you. So it's like I know you all. Doreen and Anne, are you guys on?
Yes, thank you so much.
Yes. I remember meeting you and hearing your guys' why on the, I think it was the first ladies' night in January that I was able to come on and hear, I think when Alyssa was doing it. And I've never forgotten you guys. I love hearing the stories and I love hearing why you're doing this.
No, thank you.
We were we're both really looking forward to seeing you on here tonight.
Ah, thank you. Thank you. Ditto.
Thank you, Miss Patrice, for your time
Yes, Lizette.
and your effort. I love hearing you talk. I needed a little kick in the butt.
You know what? We all do, right? I mean, we all do, ladies. We all do. This is stuff that, you know, I have to remind myself of, and Joe too. Are we humans or not? We are humans, but we have to create new habits, right? So when the self-doubt comes in, for those that don't know any better, they just wallow in it, but we know better. So what we do is we change the talk, right? We change that doubt because it's always going to come. That's just the nature of humanity. It comes in, and guess what? We have torpedoes. We have a bow and arrow, and we shoot it down and we replace it. We replace everything. When you quit smoking, right, you have to replace it with something in your hand. It's the same thing. You have to replace the bad habits with good ones. Anyone else? Everyone's muted. Does anyone have any questions or any feedback? You know, I had a thought. Like, what if we all started going through the same book, if we could agree on a good book, and each time we meet, maybe we spend, or maybe designate a different time, we spend a little bit of time going over what we've learned and how it's impacted us over the previous month. I don't know. Does that sound
I like that idea.
Yeah. I do that in the
I'm-
mornings with a group of ladies, with my Bible reading, but that's not what we're talking about. So we're talking about, self-empowerment, just improving ourselves, right?
I haven't read, I am not a huge reader. So like, I have to admit, I have not read the Think and Grow Rich book. So I'm putting it on my list,
Maybe we
but
start there. And I believe 3 Feet from Gold that I mentioned is also by Napoleon Hill. I believe that's an incredible book as well. It's about people who give up and too soon, live too soon, right? Right.
what would
before-
be another one that would be good to read that people would be
So
interested
Think and Grow
in?
Rich. 3 Feet from Gold, Think and Grow Rich. Joe, ideas? You know what? I'm gonna grab my phone for a second.
I always like Being the Best You Can Be in MLM by John Kalich.
Awesome. Great. I'm gonna write, that was Karen, right?
Yep.
Be the
What is
best
it called,
you can be.
Karen?
Being the Best You Can Be in MLM. It's kind of an old book, but we always had everyone read it for years.
Okay. I'm
It,
getting
it
that one.
walks you, it makes you go through your why.
Who's the author on that?
John Kalich, and he was a dear friend and he passed away from cancer. So it's an older book, but you can still
Okay.
get it. Being the Best You Can Be in MLM. I just think it makes you go through your why. It's very simple. Don't ever quit.
Nice, nice. Karen, can you spell John's last name?
Kalench, Kalench, Kalench,
Perfect.
Kalench.
Okay, I'll find it if that's not it.
Sorry, I
Be the
forget.
best you can be in MLM. So we'll talk about that, what I suggested, and then we'll be in contact with everybody, if whoever wants to do that.
And Miss Diane, since you're not a reader, I really don't have that much time to read. My quiet time is always after my little one goes to bed, but how
Mhm.
about audio? Maybe we could do audio. That
Yeah,
might work
that
out for
would be-
me.
then I can multitask.
Yeah, for sure.
Just a suggestion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's better than nothing,
Mhm.
right? I mean, it's still.
I do
going
like to read. I just don't make it a priority, I should say. Yeah, too many kettles in the fire elsewhere, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, let's.
Think and Grow
let's
Rich
work
is
it out.
actually on audio with his own voice. We have the record. And it's just
Oh,
a deep,
awesome.
deep voice. It's very cool.
Nice. That's a good one, Karen. I'm gonna get that.
It adds to it to hear his voice because it's old recording.
Nice.
I'll do that.
Is it Nightingale that has some recordings like his? I love hearing them.
Nightingale Conan.
And yeah, and you hear all that old. I mean, it's so old, but I love it. It's classic.
And Bob Proctor actually does some really good stuff on YouTube. And he even does meditation. And my kids hated his voice because that's all they ever heard when they were little. But he does even meditations if you go on YouTube and search them.
Nice. Bob Proctor. You got that, Diane?
Got it.
Yeah, he does.
There's some, you can watch a lot of great YouTubes. Jim Rohn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even Tom Hopkins, there's some great, if it's better for you to hear it while you
Mhm.
do your laundry or whatever, as long as you try to focus on it while you're doing your things. So
Mhm.
you get
It's real important what you listen to before you go to bed and when you wake up, because that's when you're resetting and restoring and repairing. And that's when you're really setting your energy for the day.
Mm.
There you
That's
go.
good.
Tell us about that, Karen. Tell us maybe like what you do.
What I do, I listen to Milan, which is just a beautiful, pure heart, vibrational singing. It just tells you to be at peace, remember who you are, just whispering greatness to you. Is Milan. I sent them to Joe before.
Is that remember who you are? Is it that song?
No, it's really spiritual, and she does singing bowls, and her voice is like an angel, and she kind of whispers, how remember who you are, and how it's in just pure heart. Milan, Meilan. And I do a meditation every morning that is quantum energy, reset, breath, quiet touch. So you put your right hand over your heart and your left hand over your right, and you breathe in regular, but then you breathe out completely. So when you breathe in through your nose, you're resetting like your pineal gland, you're resetting your whole body, like you would reset your computer.
Nice.
So, you know, you're just always doing a reset.
A reboot. Nice. I
Reboot.
like it.
So when you get too far out of, you know, too far into your monkey talk or your talk, you talked about, Patrice, that you need to go neutral. Because a lot of times when, and this is my opinion, and you're asking, when you have these thoughts and you start, your subconscious mind is trying to do an affirmation that it doesn't believe, it's a conflict. And so if you can just go neutral, and so you want to go neutral as soon as you start hearing the other thoughts, if you can bring it back down to neutral. So meditation, we don't have to meditate all day long. We're trying to get to neutral. We're trying to start from a place where we're not worried about anything. We're not fall asleep worried about anything. We're not angry about anything.
Wow.
So just 7 minutes or however many minutes it takes, or 2 minutes, or one reset breath, then you kind of stop if you want to stop anxiety, do you want to stop it? You know, if you want to stop a car at the top of the hill, this is Esther Hicks, and it's going down the hill, do you want to stop it at the top of the hill or the bottom of the hill?
Oh, yeah.
You want to stop it when you first start hearing those thoughts.
Yeah. Good. That's good. Very good.
So, sorry,
Anyone else?
this is a fireside chat for me, so you.
I love it. I love fireside chats.
You can see
We did a lot of those literally, and it's so much comes out of those, don't they, Karen?
in the 30s here in Ohio.
Yeah.
So
Ooh, yeah. Anyone else? Are we all good? Everyone wants to go eat dinner? All right, well, let's close this out with some not meditation music, but ladies' night music. Thank you, ladies.